we doing, Mike Bradley? Hope you're doing well as always. Yes, I have a contraption between my legs. The things I do for YouTube. There's a good reason for it. As you can see from B-cam / between Mike's legs cam, I've got a pedal on my phone basically. Now what we're going to be talking about today is a cool new piece of gear by the people at Hotone, and it's a new pedal called the XTOMP, which is hard for me to pronounce. And basically it's a pedal which is all connected to your phone or tablet or whatever. Now I've used my phone for this because if you're going to be in a gigging situation or in a studio or rehearsal room or something like that, chances are you're going to have your phone with you more than a tablet or something, you know. So hopefully you can kind of see all right here on B-cam. I'll do some kind of better close-ups of it though. But it's all kind of connected via Bluetooth. So basically, layman's terms, if I scroll here, you can see a load of different pedals and whatnot. And you can, via Bluetooth, and cabinets as well, which we'll get to, but via Bluetooth, you can then obviously connect the pedal and the phone together and then pick whatever pedal or amp simulator you want. And then beam it via Bluetooth, and bada bing, you got something. Now, when I was first told about this kind of stuff, you know, I'm very old school, and I think a lot of us guitar players are. So anything like this, you're like, really? Like, really? Like, this seems a bit of a pain. You gotta get your phone, you gotta connect. You know, is it actually gonna sound good when you pay X amount of money for the pedal? So I'm very much like you guys. I imagine you're like me as well. You know, very old school. And you know, when it comes to technology, I want old school. I want a lead, a good amp, a good guitar, bang. You know, a wah wah. That's it. That was good enough for Jimi Hendrix. It can be kind of good enough for me. Yeah, I was a little bit skeptical with it, but having to play around with it, you know what? It's quite cool actually. So let's have a little fun here. So let's pick something I probably haven't used before. So let's go for here. So this is calling it a Dr. Blues. Now this, and I'll do a little, actually let me bring this up close so you can see it. So you can see there, Dr. Blues, and it gives you some information and even says it's based on the BD2, the blues driver from Boss. So my eyesight's so bad, so I'm trying to see from here. But yeah, so obviously for copyright reasons, they can't actually say the name. But if you're a guitar nut like myself, you're going to recognise it straight away. So you've got choices of if it's true bypass or buffered, all that kind of stuff. But let's not. So there we go. There, so you got true bypass or buffer. I'm going to leave it how it is. And then I'm literally going to go load a device, and then I'll click here and it's connection successful, which is always good. And then it's going to take probably about 30 seconds, and you can now see the pedal kind of changing light here. Alright, again I'll do a better close-up for you. So because I haven't used this one before, you can see this little beam going up. So it'll take 30 seconds like that. And then, but once it's beamed onto the phone, it's there, it's staying there until I choose to delete it off the app, you know. And also I should point out the app is free, you know, as you probably would expect, but they're not trying to be cheeky and make you pay for something, you know, so or pay something extra for it. So I'll just wait here. I'm going to do this in real time. You know what, I'm not going to cut this because I want to be true to you, the people. So if I choose over the B-cam now, you can see we're nearly there. We're kind of like a quarter of the way to go, and we're still flashing away here. So how long has this been? Probably about 60 seconds now, is it? So a little bit more, should be there. Get some waiting music. And we're getting near the end. Alright, we're there. So it's now changed blue. The pedal has kind of changed to this blue kind of colour now. And then it's 3 controls, just like you would probably expect on a blues. On a Boss pedal. So if where's the camera? There we go. So we got there a level, gain and tone, standard, alright? So on the pedal, this is the level, that's the gain, that's the tone. So this is the amp. I've got my Fender Strat. Hopefully you can kind of see me with this thing between my legs. I've got my Strat into a supersonic, no reverb whatsoever from it. I want it pure, just this bad boy here. So there's that, and now let's put the gain down a bit, level up. Let's put that level down a bit. Right. That's bloody ballsy, that is. So let's just take the gain down a bit. So I can put that tone up to there. Now it's kind of a good little boost. Use it as kind of a clean boost, which is quite cool, but we probably want to hear a bit of gain kick in here, don't we? So sounds pretty cool. That's a lovely, warm crunch there. So let's try something else with it. So if I go back, let's stay on this kind of overdrive kind of setting. We got here. Let's go for this, which is the Zen Drive. Basically, they're not calling it that. They're calling it a Zen Garden. All right, but I have used this one before on here. I've been playing around with this, so because I've used it before, it will be really, really quick. So in real time here, bang, it's there, and now it's changed from a dark blue to a light blue there. All right, so you see what I mean? Once you do load it in, and you can easily access all the pedals, you can have a little library on there, which I'll talk about in a second. So here we've got different kind of controls going on here. We've got volume on the left, gain, and then tone and voice. So let's kind of leave everything how it is here. I should point out as well, obviously you might be thinking, well, it's a bit of a, again, a bit of a faff having to remember all the knob settings and whatnot. It comes with a load of stickers, so then you can put that on the pedal. So obviously, in real world situation, you're not going to be constantly changing all the time. So if you've got it set on one specific pedal, you can put some stickers on there and then put where you want it to be and label it overdrive, or if it's a phase or something like that. So this is the Zen Drive, again, amp on its own. Zen Drive on. Oh, very much different to the Boss. I can have more volume now. hopefully you probably could tell because I got into it quite a bit. So that's the Zen Drive. Right, let's go to something else. So I'll go back. Let's look at this kind of stuff here. So now we've got some frequencies. Right, let's look at some modulation stuff. So if let's look at the phase 90. So that's got new. So they're constantly updating stuff on there, which is quite cool. Don't think it was on there when I first got it. So yeah, that's cool to see. So phase 90. Obviously they've called it something else, 90 phaser. There you go. And again, you've got bypass or true bypass, and it's saying it's about the legendary MXR phase 90. So loads of device. I want a connection successful, which is again very good to see. Now I've got to wait for the bar. The lights are changing. Actually, as well, while it's loading, I can still be in Zen Drive mode. I don't have to wait, or no, can't use my guitar now, you know, or there's no kind of robot noise, something like that going on, which is cool, you know. So if you're at home, you know, you can still kind of play. Right, we are loaded, so now it's gone kind of a purple, and because if you're aware of the phase 90, it only has one knob, so you can see there, we've got one knob happening, and of course now, I don't know why it's purple, I would have thought it'd be orange, but there, well it's more like a indigo, or something like that. So this is the amp, it's going to be clean at the moment, and then if I turn this on, that's actually pretty good. I've never done this, as you can see. I'll put a bit of gain from the amp on. That's alright now. I usually have it about there on my face. So it's not, you need to push it a bit more than a regular phase, which is cool. That's not, again, you can hear it sounds like a phaser, you know, if I turn the overdrive off. Not bad at all. Right, let's do another thing. Right, I'm not sure what this is, but helicopter. Okay, so this model is based on the legendary Demeter tremolo, basically a tremolo. Alright, so I want to put loads of device. I don't think I've done this before. Connection successful. Is going to buzz. No, didn't think I have. So you can see again, that is all changing now because the crazy little robots inside the pedal and the Bluetooth is buzzing around there and kind of beaming it all over, which is really cool. Right, so I'll tell you what, while that's doing, let's change guitar because let's get some humbucker sounds happening with it. Right, I've got the Les Paul on. Okay, so that's going on there. So it's only got 2 controls, which is cool. If I bring it up here, we've got depth and speed happening. So I can muck around with that a little bit there. You get the idea. That's pretty cool. Let's just do some delay as well, maybe. So I bring my phone so you can see a bit more. What do we want here? I don't know. Let's go for room. Alright, so this Reverb Recruit. So basically, this looks like it's one of Hotone's own kind of pedals, if you will. So I load this to the device. And oh, I've already used this one before, okay? I can't remember, but I've used it. So we've got a few more going on here. We've got 4 controls happening here. So let's see what we get here. Or that kind of stuff. So really it's actually more of a reverb than a delay, I should say. Yeah, so I obviously wasn't reading properly, so this is more of a kind of reverb, but it's got that kind of slapbacky kind of stuff going on now. So yeah, there's your kind of, it's almost like a slapback kind of reverb going on there. So what we'll do now, let's look at, actually one thing I will talk to you about. Now the whole kind of amp, amp in a box, an amp simulator kind of is a bit off-putting at times. But this is quite cool. So what I'm going to do the Marshall Plexi, alright? So I'm going to load that onto device, connection successful. Right, so that's loaded up now. So what I want to do, I want to make sure my amp is quite low because this is going to get loud. I'm literally going to gun everything. I'll probably have to back the treble off. So it's all gone green here, the lights, even though it's looking like yellow on the camera, but just so you can see here, it's all going green there. And then knob wise, we've got the presence, loudness, so the volume, bass, middle, treble. Okay, so it's off at the moment. Let you turn off the gain here. So I'm going to put the amp to about that. Okay, so if I literally turn everything up, and if you think with the old Marshall Plexis, to get that amazing distortion or the overdriven kind of classic tube sound, it's the sound of a Plexi turned up. You're going to get that there, but let me just turn that treble down. We do not need that. That is bloody loud. I really hope that did not bloody muck up my audio. But you see what I mean? Like, that sounds like a proper Plexi. I'm really amazed. So incredibly loud. Let me just what we'll do, we'll turn the loudness down a little bit here. And the presence, we don't need that either because it's quite trebly. So bear in mind, the amp is this. That sounds pretty cool. Now, bear in mind, you know, this is still an effects pedal, isn't it? So you can still have other pedals in front of it or after it, whatever, and have, you know, pushing, you know, another boost on top of that, whatever you want. So, I mean, if I turn the volume down a little bit to more controllable, because that is very loud, you know, it doesn't have the same, but the overdrive there. So I think that's really good. I think that's, hopefully that's coming across on YouTube. Didn't look like I was clipping too much there on my mic, but that's really cool. I think that's really, really good. That sounds pretty close to a real deal there. So let me just show you as well quickly this combo thing, which is a cool idea. So where are we here? So you can have a series of different things here. So let's get away from overdrive. Let's do, well, that could be interesting. Octopus. So this is an octo, basically an Octavia, and a big pie, basically the big muff together. So I'll load the device. I think I might have done this before. Yes. So once again, you know, so yeah, it's a bit of a wait when you haven't loaded it before, but once you've done it, it's pretty much instant, which is cool. So you can see the controls going on there. We've got volume, tone, sustain, volume, dry, and high oct. So yeah, the muff settings are at the top and the octaves up there. So if I put the volume there, because that's pretty cool. That's naughty. What's it like if I go up? It can be a bit messy, but you can get some good sound out of the bass. Let's see what it sounds like with a Strat, so it's not so menacing. So it's a bit more controllable on a Strat. Probably get away a bit more volume actually. So disgusting. So you know what I mean, guys? I think personally, would I gig with this? Well, yeah, if I left it on one thing, I think some of those drives, like that Zen Drive, sounded awesome. I really like that. So, you know, I would, if I was to gig with it, I would leave it on one thing and probably wouldn't fart around too much. It's very well made, you know, this is very, very heavy. That's a little bit loose for my liking. I think it's cool. Like I said, the whole design's really cool. I'll just worry a little bit about that. So for me, owning this, I think it'll work great in a rehearsal room or in the studio. The amount of times you're kind of rehearsing with your band or you know whatever, or recording stuff at home, and you're working on a song and you think, oh, you know what, it'd be cool if I had this effect to go on top of that. And you know, if you only have a limited amount of effects pedals, something like this will be absolutely fantastic, because then, you know, say if you want, you know, an Octavia sound or something like that, or I think, what else they got in here? They got so many pedals. It's ridiculous, you know. But say, for example, you wanted, univibe kind of sound, right? So then we've got here, let's go for the classic one. So you can see here, pretty sure you recognise that from the classic univibe kind of thing. So I'll do load to device, bada bing, and I think I've done this one before. Yeah, I have. Good. And then I can look at the settings. You've got volume, mode, intensity and speed, but let's just play and fiddle what we get here. I've got univibe now, you know, and then if I want something else, I don't know, there's a cocked wire in there, there's all sorts of stuff, you know. So I think in the rehearsal room and the studio, that's where this pedal will really be incredibly useful. Of course, it can perfectly, you know, gig very well, but with all the different options you got there, when you're kind of, you know, writing songs, stuff like that, you think, oh, I want that sound for this part of the song, you know, but I haven't got that pedal, what am I going to do? Boom! XTOMP! You know, this is where it can really come alive for you. So check one out, guys, you know, head down to your nearest shop. I'll put all the links in the description box below, so you can find out all the information and even more tech stuff you want to know. But yeah, so the company is Hotone, pedal is XTOMP, and check one out. Anyway, I'm knackered. I'm Mike Bradley, signing out.